So, this is my first review movie. I will be reviewing Scooby-Doo meets the Boo Brothers. So, Boo Brothers tells the story of Shaggy, Scooby, and Scrappy going to Shaggy's deceased uncle's house and, like, inheriting it. And Shaggy tries to find his family jewels. Yep, that's what they say. That's what they say in the movie. So yeah, it's a made-for-TV movie. It was made in 1987. Sorry, but yeah. Positives on the film. Spoiler alert: the sheriff that we meet is actually a fake sheriff. So, anyways, I like his accent. It's a southern accent, and it just kind of makes me laugh. Like, stuff he says is like, push the button! Or like, don't play dumb, boy. This time you're getting 2 tickets. It just makes me laugh. Another thing that I kind of like is Farquaad is kind of mean to a point where it's kind of funny. One line that he says is, "Oh goody, they're all going to sink," when Shaggy is trying to get his car out of the mud and Scrappy and Scooby try and save him. They don't get it out of the mud, but they escape, whatever. Frico, another part is the 3 ghosts, the Boo Brothers. Frico and Miko try to hit the ghost demonstrator with hammers while it dances. That was kind of funny. Their neighbor Sally, she is in love with Shaggy, like really in love with Shaggy. It is so weird, but it's kind of entertaining. Sally's reaction to the gorilla. She's like wide-eyed screaming the first time she sees the gorilla. She's like, "Ah!" Or something like that. Frico says, let me show you my scary face. And then the other ghost says, "Oh, yuck, don't do that." And he responds with, "I ain't doing it yet. I know." The other ghost says, "I know." I got a chuckle out of that. That was kind of cool. Another one was, again, another of the fake sheriff's line. "I'm close to that ape. I can smell it." And the ape is on top of his car, and he peers over the windshield, and the cop, the sheriff, just runs out of his car and runs away. That was funny. Another one that got a small chuckle out of me was when Shaggy fell in the mud and he said, "Yucko sloppo." That was kind of funny. That's it for positives. Mixed stuff. The sheriff, again, he has funny lines, but he's kind of stupid. So, yeah. There's a bunch of stupid supernatural things, like Shaggy's pants dances for no reason or something. There's a weird claw that pets Scooby, and then a weird wolf thing. I mean, okay. And the Boo Brothers are just like a discount Three Stooges. It's some funny parts, some parts that aren't funny. Yeah. And then that's all that's mixed. So now on to the negatives of it. The Headless Horseman. Yeah, there's a Headless Horseman. It's just I think it was just like a dummy thing on the horse, and the horse is mechanical. I don't believe that dummy would stay on there. Oh, and another supernatural thing, a picture of the Colonel throws a sword at the wall, and that doesn't make sense. The Boo brothers make Farquaad spin around. I mean, they're ghosts. Shouldn't they be going through him? And yeah. And the Boo brothers get stuck in a chimney. It's like they're not even real ghosts, you know? It's just not consistent. They can touch stuff, but people can't touch them. That doesn't make sense. And one of the biggest negatives is there's a lot of plot points in here. I mean, like, you have the family jewel scavenger hunt thing. You have the gorilla and the sheriff trying to capture the gorilla. Oh, yeah, and you have the family feud of Billy Bob Scroggins trying to shoot Shaggy and Scrappy and Scooby. And then you have the kind of love story of Sally, who is Billy Bob Scroggins' sister. She likes Shaggy. It's just... and there's one small plot point of a self-driving truck. It's remote-controlled. There's a ghost mystery. There's, like, the ghost of the Colonel and a ghost skeleton. Yeah. And then there's another plot point of the Boo brothers being orphans, like, and that doesn't really go anywhere. Another thing is, some backgrounds are dark. They could have used some lighter colors, I guess. I mean, like, it mainly takes place at night, but, like, within different settings, they could have used different colors, I guess. Yeah, just... Shaggy is kind of stupid. He doesn't notice a headstone on the path when he looks behind him, you know, just... and he bumps into a wall just like, boom! Shaggy asks Scrappy to read the clues, like you can't read the clues yourself. Oh, and this movie is really repetitive. The formula is, they find a clue, look for the jewels, shenanigans, whether it's with the cop or the gorilla or Billy Bob Scroggins or Sally, and then they find a jewel, and then they repeat it. Just, yeah. And another thing is the Boo brothers are barely even in this movie. It's just, they barely have the titular characters in the movie. Just bad. Oh, and another thing is Shaggy fires the Boo brothers, at one point only to take them back like 10 or 30 seconds later. Like, okay, that went nowhere. And another thing, it doesn't set up the real sheriff, because there is, like, a real sheriff. Like I said, the sheriff that we know is a fake sheriff, but of what we know of the real sheriff, like, Shaggy gets a random call, and like, oh, you have a cold or something, you sound different. I guess that's supposed to be the real sheriff, I guess. Okay, yeah, they didn't set that up that good, so a lot of negatives in this movie. My final thoughts, to be honest, I think they could have cut some plot points out, like Billy Bob and the gorilla. And some scenes go on too long. Again, like the shenanigan scenes, those go on for a little too long. This movie is 90 minutes, when this should have been like 75 minutes. It's too long and boring. So, I mean, to be honest, I recommend you skip this movie. I recommend you skip this movie. If you're not a Scooby-Doo fan, this isn't gonna sway your mind or shift it to liking Scooby-Doo. So, I mean, like, even for Scooby-Doo fans, it's just